We are back, another week, another video. 1st of December, 12. I believe it's Wednesday, so I'm gonna start doing these on Wednesdays because I always work on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays on my online clients a bit more than on any other day. So this makes a bit more sense for me to do these on Wednesday, edit them, load them up, and do everything else. People, I don't think, realize how time intensive this actually is. It's not like I slap just something on my phone. I could do that, but then sound is crap, video quality is crap, and so on and so forth. I wanted to start this video with acknowledging that one of my cameras has died, so there probably will be difference in footage, how it actually looks. Because I haven't still figured out how to mix two videos together to make them look like they've done with the same camera. That's a skill I need to develop in near future, which is probably not going to happen until late next year, because that's not my priority. Anyway, another thing, I'm going to get into some questions I get asked after last video I made. First one, what are you looking to develop next year? Never looking in a sense like that, because 1 year is probably a bit too long for me to focus on. And I'm guessing developing is regards physique. Fitness is just my lifestyle, so I always readjust my plans depending on how I have responded on previous plan. So I have rough guideline where I'm gonna go, what I'm gonna do, but more often than not, they actually change depending on what else I have going on. And next year, I have booked almost 12 months of bi-monthly seminars. So it's going to be extremely intense on things relating to business, things relating to personal development, health, and so on and so forth. So that will be my biggest focus as it comes to training. So I have another, this is week 6 of training, so we have another 14 weeks of basically strengthening my joint integrity, strengthening my ability to tolerate lactic acid, trying to develop ability to recover quicker between sets, so my rate force development is not diminishing as quick as it could. You know, I don't want to be one of those people who just stand around for 10 minutes just to do another set with same exact weight. It just does not sit well with me. You're not training, you're fucking about. And that's just something I need to work on because of my weight regain straight after the show, as that's everyone should be actually working on straight after gaining a lot of weight, or even if you are overweight and can't train much. I have probably 3 exercises per workout that I do, and most of them are focused on either force development or making sure that I can develop force without strength dropping down between sets. So it's very specific: set reps, set sets, set resting periods between sets. Those who have worked with me on pure strength based programs, that's very, very, very similar to that, but just with additions that I want to work closer to building my lactic acid to nearly unbearable levels first, and then work on my strengths. So that's the difference between when you work only on strengths. I would never let you to get near that, because I want you to be fresh every time in between every single set. Another, so I hope that answers what I'm trying to do next year. I have no clear goals. I have 4 months that I have got clear view on what I'm going to do, and then most likely I'm going to go into hypertrophy and try to somehow mix and match that with a lot of traveling, a lot of learning, a lot of time spent on developing skills, which is going to be extremely demanding. So what people don't realize, thinking and training deplete you in different ways, and to do both optimally is very challenging. So when I started to go to university, I had to stop doing deadlifts and squats, and that coincided with me having an injury. So I got injured and I went to university and I stopped doing 2 things that I can't do anymore, because I never realized that I was injured. I did know that I was injured. I didn't know how bad it was. That's why I always neglected recovery from it. And I spent 5 years at university, came out of university, and I went into, okay, let's do squats and deadlifts now. And anything about 200 kilos is extremely painful. And it's more the nerve damage than anything else. So, which I'm fairly comfortable now that I might get over it in another couple of years, hopefully. If not, I'm not going to really care about that. But I'm going to touch into that a bit later on. So another thing is, someone asked, if you're looking to develop legs, is leg press a more effective exercise than squatting? Yes and no. I don't think it's what you do, it's how you train legs. And I'm guessing someone who was asking, to develop legs is just sheer size. Let's be just very clear. If you're trying to get legs nicely shaped without leg extensions, you will never get that detail out, because rec fem is only really challenged on last 15% of leg extension. So when you are stood up with bar on your shoulders or doing leg press, rec fem is actually relaxed. You're not doing any stimulus into your mid of your quad, so you're missing out on training portion of your quad. But comparing squats to leg press, they're two completely different movements. I believe that squats give you a bit of a more of an illusion because it's challenging on your rib cage as well. So the way you stand and all those kind of things really help you to expand that rib cage. So big guys who are big into squatting usually have wider chest. That's just my observation. It might be totally wrong, but everyone I know who do squat a lot have always wider rib cage than anyone else, and it looks that they train chest a lot, when sometimes it might not even be the case. But in terms of developing, I truly believe that things for legs should be done at a bit higher volumes than anything else. Doing 6-8 reps on any kind of leg exercise is probably not going to give you a lot of size. You can argue that, yeah, but look at powerlifters, they have really big legs. Yeah, but you diet them down, there is not much left underneath. You know, I have seen guys who are extremely powerful deadlifters, and they do a lot of leg pressing as well, just to get the drive from a floor, but they never do high reps, and when they diet down, there is just sticks, powerful sticks, but not a lot of muscle itself. So the question was actually, I'm doing squats and Bulgarian split squats, should I swap one for leg press? If it works, don't swap anything. Like, I haven't changed my chest workouts for 15 years because they work. Same as legs. Legs are way more complicated than any other muscle, because you have your hamstrings, glutes, adductors, or quads itself. You need to train them from different angles if you actually want to have the most out of it. But you can argue as much as you want that you can get away with just one exercise, but are you mentally tough to just do one exercise? Probably not. And sooner or later there will be some kind of weakness somewhere, and you can work around it if you do a lot of mobility and agility that gets kind of that takes care of those weaknesses. But let's be honest, how many of you do that? Probably nobody, unless you're told to. So if you are in the middle of some kind of program, don't change anything. Only change things that you don't respond to, and you can literally do the same exact exercise over and over and over and over again and still get great results. Fact that your body would get used to some kind of exercise it's some completely just not true. And but yeah, I do find for sheer size, leg press is much better because it's much safer. But that's about it. But squat is just giving you that raw kind of feeling that not many can match. And like I said, if you can do squats, most likely you'll have quite solid back, most likely you'll have impact on your ability to recover between sets as well, because it's way more challenging than any other exercise. So that's going to transfer into any other exercise you do as well. You will be able to tolerate way more pain and so on and so forth of any other exercise, so it makes you efficient altogether in the long run. But yeah, there is many things you need to look into, but I do like, my best approach for leg training would be squats and leg press. You can mix and match. So when I first wanted to make my legs grow, because I was shit at legs, at squats specifically, I was having a 180 kilo bloody bench and a 60 kilo squat. So I stopped doing anything else but just train legs. I did squat one day, leg press another day, and just do it every other day. So one exercise, 45, maybe 90 minutes sometimes, then rest a day, then come back, do same exact. For 3 months, I did not do a single other exercise. I know for some of you just feel like, what the hell, everything's gonna shrink and whatnot. Well, my physique shows different, especially now when I don't do any specific body kind of targeted exercise. Still look exactly the same, you know. So stop being scared of that. If you have weakness, and if your weakness is legs, train your legs more. Just make sure you recover from them. Because the older, the bigger, the stronger you get, it's actually going to get harder to improve. If you're just starting out and if you're extremely weak on legs, they're just going to grow like wheat. Milk it. Just make sure you recover, make sure you do your cardio, and so on and so forth. Because that's probably another interesting thing. A lot of people ask me, why do I class walking as cardio? Well, my walking is a bit intense, more intense than anyone else's. I still push it to have my resting heart rate at least at 130 beats per minute. I make it much harder by breathing through my nose, so I don't need to walk as fast and just get the same amount of adaptations. But another thing is, I approach it differently. I do not approach training as just physical improvement. There is actually one doctor, I forgot, let me dig out the name, and you should look him up. So Sanjay Gupta, and he talks about he's a neurosurgeon, and he talks about brain adaptations and Alzheimer's and all the kind of diseases, and how beneficial walk is for your brain health. How many times do you have guys who are very big, very powerful, but thick as a fucking plank? And it's because they most likely are just depriving their brain from, like I said, when I was going to uni, I was sparing energy for my brain. So most of the guys who go to gyms, they are pure meatheads. They don't acknowledge that thrashing their body inside out every single day will gonna take toll on something else. And if you are typical meathead who doesn't do any walks, doesn't do any cardio, doesn't do anything at all outside the gym, apart from weightlifting, you are compromising your brain health. And brain needs completely different nutrients, and so on and so forth. This comes down to nutrition as well. You know, some people are still, how can I even describe, to not sound too harsh, fucking moronic, thinking that sugar doesn't do any bad in you. So you can argue this as long as you want. I've done exactly the same. I went to university, or just carbs count and this and that. No, it doesn't really work like that. You can have fully glycogen loaded muscles from your sugars, but you will have such a bad brain fog and feel absolute crap, because that's not the right nutrient for your body. As much as you want, sugar will intoxicate you. It will increase your inflammation markers. Obviously, if too much of that too often, if every single meal you eat have carbs in it, you'll sooner or later become insulin resistant if you're not lean and very active, and many other things down the line. If you rely on sugar a lot just to get carbs in, your priorities are fucking off. So you need to have your food sorted out. You never mind the negative effects on your teeth, on your gut, on everything else. You can get away with having sugar as a big part of your carb intake if you are very lean, very active, and you are not trying to kind of dissolve what actually matters, which is micronutrient intake as well. You can eat your vitamins as much as you want. If it doesn't come from dark greens and fruit and veg, you're most likely not going to get most benefit out of those micronutrients. We can have anything you want in a pill form now, but that just does not work the same as real food does. So there is some things that comes maybe from chewing the food, maybe the rate of absorption that's completely different from food compared to supplement and whatnot. There is so much more we still don't know, but stop being ignorant. It's not just protein, carbs, and fats. It's actually how well you nourish your body. And sugar is not very nourishing. Let's be honest. Stop being delusional. I was one of those delusional folks at some point, and it just caused a lot of issues. Shoulders start to ache, elbows start to ache, knees, you name it, feeling lethargic, indigestion, and so on and so forth, just to get calories in. It's just not worth it. So anyway, week 6 of my training at the moment, weight has dropped down 112.5 kilos on average. I did have a not so good training session today. Like I said, it's Wednesday, it's my 3rd day of the week I train. I start my week on Sundays. Yesterday I went out for a trip to Christmas markets, and I didn't really eat much of what I usually would eat. Didn't hydrate as much as I usually would. I was quite lethargic. I had good breakfasts, and I had like a coffee and cake in the middle of the day, and just like a Chinese, Japanese, whatever the hell that was at night. That was it. So today, by the middle of training session, I was just so worn out. Even though I had around 2,000 calories before I even trained, my body needs much more. My body needs constant influx of nutrients all the time. And like I said, I can drink your cyclic dextrins and whatnot, just until you get sick. It doesn't work as well as real food, as proper carb sources, and I tend to work quite good on monounsaturated fats. So if I start adding avocados and olive oil and things like that in my diet, I feel flipping amazing. But if I just count calories and macros, everything goes to shit. And especially now that I'm not taking any supplements that would improve my performance, improve my recovery, it kind of dims everything down, but that will change very soon. I gave blood last week, letting this all settle down, and most likely his choice will be something from middle column and something that helps me to train longer, which will be something from NOR19 kind of column. And keep it fairly low, probably around 5-6 mgs per kg, and see how it goes, see where it goes from there. But I just know how my body responds, so I will use it sensibly, even though I know I can push very, very high without ever having any side effects. But sooner or later I tend to kind of overtrain because I feel so good. That being said, I'm on week 6 of my training cycle, and I feel exactly the same on week 6 now, the way I usually feel on week 6 if I am taking something that helps me recover. So yeah, I think we can kind of dismantle the idea that it's because of the supplements I take. It's more because I just train. And the more comfortable I become with my training plan, the harder I start to push myself, and I just push a bit too hard. So I need to sort it out. I need to sort my sleep out. Probably sleep is much better than it used to be, but probably a nap here and there would help me as well, because I'm not the smallest of the guys and my training sessions are extremely intense. But yeah, I'm not gonna carry on. I'm gonna leave this on that. If you do have any questions, drop it underneath the video. Like I said, I'm not gonna try to answer anything that people send me directly, because that just messes everything up. If you can leave a comment on the video, that's the best idea. I always go back, recheck any questions, and try to carry on the next video. And might, I don't know, give me your thoughts. Should I put something on some kind of PDF or Excel sheet of what I do regards my tracking of my own physical changes? So my resting heart rate, my weight, my, I don't know, some measurements or whatnot. If you're interested in that, I'll do it. If you're not, I won't be bothered. So, and on that note, I'll speak to you next week.